Have you ever wondered if all this talk about AI is actually genuine and actually true? Well, today we are looking at some success stories according to published research and some amazing returns on investment that have been observed as a result of adopting AI. Returns up to 700%. Imagine 700% in your business. Well, stay tuned and keep listening. Welcome back to AutoRe. We are talking today about AI automation and some success stories. Particularly, we'll be looking at a report written by the JLL, a big operator in the real estate industry, and they know what they're talking about. It'll be quite interesting for us to go through and for you to see where they see the advantages in adopting AI. They recommend that you should place yourself in a position where you can take advantage of what's coming. They also highlight some of the successes that they've had with their AI powered businesses. So people are getting involved, companies are getting involved, and companies, especially the leaders of companies, are seeing that without preparing yourself for the AI storm that's coming, the growth in multiple businesses and all of the changes, you are likely to be disrupted rather than being the disruptor. So let's have a look at this report. So this report is called Artificial Intelligence, Real Estate Revolution or Evolution. So if we start with their main points, so top three, AI and generative AI are among the top three technologies expected to have the biggest impact on real estate. I think that goes without saying. It's already having huge impacts right now. Second thing that they've highlighted is that $4 billion was spent on AI-powered prop tech in 2022. So that's just prop tech, not all of the other tech sectors. Just prop tech, property technology. And 1.6 million square meters is occupied by AI companies, or was occupied by AI companies by the end of 2023 in the US alone. So these are huge numbers that are just AI specific. Now, with their key findings, I'm going to read these verbatim so that you can hear it essentially from the lion's mouth. So with new products like ChatGPT, AI's potential to transform the global economy has captured the world's imagination. That's what the report says, or the research says. So the first thing they highlight is that AI has enormous potential to reshape real estate, not just commercial real estate or properties that operate at the level that JLL works. This is all of real estate, with near and long-term impacts ranging from emergence of new markets and asset types to innovations in investment and revenue models. And I think as I go through this research, you'd understand what they mean by new asset types. And there's a rapidly expanding AI ecosystem and its supporting infrastructure, which will drive demand for real estate in different markets across the globe. So it will make more sense as we go through, but just in summary, essentially, the AI companies like to cluster and be in an area where similar companies are all operating. And for them to operate there will be other supporting infrastructure like data centers, and the employees they bring to that area would buy properties in the area or rent. And those people's lives and their families would have to be supported by other infrastructure in that area. So it's going to grow, and it's continuing to grow. There is a lack of qualified, good AI employees or AI engineers, but that's not going to be forever, because there'll be a lot of people upskilling to be able to fill those gaps that have been left by the new technology. Then the third thing that they've talked about is that prop tech adoption has laid a solid foundation for AI integration in real estate. So real estate is generally known to be dull, a bit boring. They take a very long time to adopt anything technology-wise. Over the last 5 to 8 years, the prop tech industry has boomed. And that's because it was really the last frontier almost at the time. So a lot of money went into prop tech, and a lot of real estate companies started to adopt the new technologies. But because they adopted these new technologies late or last, they're better prepared to integrate with artificial intelligence and anything that would boost their their businesses, in theory. So let's get into the meat of the research. So AI is driving real estate transformation. Now, the potential for AI to transform businesses, industries, and society has been mounting for decades. AI has been around for a very long time. It's only become really popular recently. And as it's become quite popular, a lot of people are starting to push for it to be adopted in their own businesses and in their own personal lives as well. So if technology is going to be used in business and in your personal life, it is only a matter of time before it then becomes a requirement that any company, any workplace must have some level of AI that's visible and perceivable in their daily operations. So you already have AI in things like your sat nav and some of your analytics and data that you use, and certainly your social media use. There's AI all over the place. But until OpenAI made it so popular and so common with ChatGPT, people didn't really understand how deep AI has already gone into their normal operations and normal daily life. So AI is definitely a game changer for real estate professionals, and those who do not adopt AI will be disrupted. So the research takes the time to talk about AI and compares it with generative AI. So generative AI is a subset of AI. AI itself is essentially machines learning to operate like humans. And how they do that is they study patterns, they study data, and they come up with results of their study. And as they get closer to working out the pattern or the model of going from an object to what it's predicted or labeled to be, that then helps them predict things that they've not been trained on. So that's what their training is all about. They're presented with information and they're supposed to use that information to work out an answer or a label or some type of end result. Now, generative AI is a subset because it uses that historical data to generate something new. So it's not just working off of what it's learned, it's predicting the next word or the next figure to use when it's generating its own content. So it's a predictive solution. So both AI and generative AI will have an impact on commercial real estate. That goes without saying. So what sorts of AI capabilities is JLL thinking would be big in the coming years? So some of these things we've already discussed over the past few days, but I'll touch on them again. So there's discovery. What they've called discovery is all about segmentation, and you can think about segmentation in terms of segmenting your client base or your client list. They also talk about causal inference and clustering. So that's about working out how X has happened and what was X happening caused by Y. So that's why it's causal. So AI can help you work out if, for instance, just a really silly example, but let's say there's a tap that runs at 5 o'clock in the morning or starts dripping 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. So does that happen because somebody wakes up in their house and puts a kettle on? And with AI, it can look at all types of different data and different permutations and help you work out which ones where the causal relationship is. Now, I'll go through these other ones a bit quicker than I've just done the discovery. So forecasting, I think that's straightforward. Based on historical data, what's going to happen next? There's a planning aspect, so planning and scheduling of logistics. Creation, that's where the generative AI comes into its own. The tools like DALL-E and Leonardo.ai and Midjourney, they can build images, create images. I would put virtual staging software in this section as well. So natural language processing, so your chatbots and asking questions and AI being able to understand what your questions mean. That's all part of natural language processing. Computer audio is speech to text. Computer vision is image segmentation and classification of images. And the final one is robotics. And this one talks about robot motion planning, swarm control, and advanced drones. So very interesting areas where AI is making strides, and they're all happening at the same time. So 3 perspectives on how AI will transform real estate. So the 3 perspectives that they've raised are AI's impact in the real estate market, AI sector as real estate occupiers, and the third one is the real estate industry as AI adopter. So let's start with the impact in the real estate market. So it's believed that AI would disrupt and transform how people live, work, and play. And this is all based on some of the statements that have been made by the big players in the industry. So the like of OpenAI has said that 80% of jobs will be disrupted or exposed to AI disruption. This causes a lot of concern, because if 80% of the jobs in the world is affected, then what would those people do? But there's a counter argument that in the past, the Queen Elizabeth of England in 1589 refused to grant the inventor of the mechanical knitting machine a patent, out of fear that it will put knitters out of work. But look where we are now. Not only did the mechanical knitting machine not put people out of work, it actually has been said to have spearheaded the first industrial revolution. There's no certainty that will be the case with AI. It might be a lot different, or on the other hand, it might actually do what people expect it to do. Some people expect it to do. So the CEO of Microsoft is saying that they are creating co-pilots because they believe in a human-centric approach rather than human replacement. So that is a good thing, and a lot of organizations are using the human-centric approach rather than trying to replace everybody. So if we look at the different areas where this AI impact could be felt, one is geolocation. So AI companies and investments have been observed to cluster. So they work together, they work with other supporting companies, and they locate themselves together in the same parts of the world and in same tech hubs. So there'll be different demand for assets. So certain assets would probably fall out of favor, but the key one is that data centers would definitely become more desirable because a lot more organizations are moving into the space of AI training, AI inference, that sort of technology, and those types of jobs would need a lot of input and a lot of data center space. So I touched on the new asset type earlier, and what JLL's research is suggesting that we could get to the point where people would invest more or prefer to invest in buildings that are AI compliant. And they cite the example of some commercial buildings now that get better investment because they attain a certain Wi-Fi score. There's even a company that's set up to score Wi-Fi in different buildings. So they're called Wired Score, and Wired Score provides a score for each building, and that gives an idea as to whether occupiers will want to stay in the building. So if your internet score or your Wi-Fi score is 7 and another one's 10, and you're both on the market at roughly the same price, then any occupier would go for one that has better connectivity. Nothing worse than being at a disadvantage. So if the same thing happens with AI, where there's an AI compliant building and AI is applied to all of the sensors in the building, the air conditioning and all of the lighting, and the AI is able to change moods, change lighting to suit what's happening in the environment and what's happening on the news, then some occupiers would like that and would want to invest in that type of futuristic building. Then the next two areas that AI, they're predicting AI would have an impact are revenue and investment. So I think that goes without saying. AI would make data a lot more accessible to a lot more people, and you'd find new investment models coming out because there are now different permutations that can be looked at and different revenue streams that will come up as a result of AI. And they're reckoning that that AI would enable expansion of the space as a service model. So that's quite interesting. So that's one to watch. And then the final one is design and space function. So AI will allow for experience-driven design and highly customizable environmental settings. So that's what I was touching on earlier. So the next perspective that they've raised is that AI companies and supporting infrastructure will drive demand for real estate. I've already touched on that, but essentially what they're saying is that the developers of AI solutions would cluster, and if they cluster, there'll be a lot more demand for property in that space. There would also be a lot more demand for residential property in that same vicinity as they bring new employees and higher paid employees to an area, which then cascades to other types of services that would have to service the people who've moved into that area. They touch on the impact of AI on in the medical and healthcare sector, and they reckon that the AI in 2022, the AI focus area with the most investment was medical and healthcare, followed by data management, processing and cloud computing, and fintech. So additionally, they're saying that enterprise use cases for generative AI represent a substantial opportunity, with projections of reaching 42.6 billion in 2023. Well, we're now in 2024. We haven't seen the data for 2023, but it's expected that there'll be a 32% growth, up to 98 billion by 2026. So that's constant growth, and this is growth that we can tap into with the capabilities we're able to provide. If it's providing housing for those who are moving into the area, we can do that and get our fees on that basis, or we can provide other services to provide the supporting infrastructure for the new organizations that have moved into the area where we operate. Okay, so the third perspective is that AI will extend the technological transformation that PropTech started. That goes without saying. PropTech laid the foundation, and now AI is about to take that foundation and turn them into buildings and build all the walls. So the top use cases that they've raised within this research are: one, for your business. So think about these use cases and how you can adopt these use cases into your business. So one is document sorting and data standardization for portfolio data analytics and benchmarking. So document sorting, data standardization, think about those things. Think about them in terms of your operations, your business, and the type of documentation you've accrued over the last few years. Second is IoT data mining for automated facility management. Now think about your landlords, your clients, and how you can introduce sensors into their buildings and then use the data that's coming out of those sensors to help manage those facilities. And Autori can help you with that, but there are also other companies that can help you get this into your client's business. The third area is the price modeling and prediction for investment management. I think that's fairly standard. Satellite image processing for asset valuation and risk management. That's brilliant. Satellite image processing, essentially, what they're saying is they'll be using satellite imaging to monitor where work is ongoing, so construction sites, and then using that to appraise properties. They can also use satellite imaging to monitor how a property degrades over time or how a property is managed over time. So I can foresee insurance companies potentially charging a lower premium if you let them monitor your property via satellite 24/7. A bit like in some countries where the insurance companies charge lower insurance if you let them put a black box in your vehicle. So lower vehicle insurance. The next three are reality capture. for construction site monitoring, scheduling for construction and capital projects, and recommendation and matchmaking for lease and investment transactions. So those are 7 areas that you need to be looking at and seeing how you can adapt your business to take advantage of the opportunities that these will present. So generative AI applications in real estate are still in their early stages. So this is from 2022, 2023. A lot more people are using it. So it's not so early, but it's not yet full blown in the industry. There are still opportunities for you to be first, and you can use the generative AI applications to create your listings, create your copy, your emails, and to help you discover areas where you can advance your business or take advantage of any gaps. Now, one of the great news stories powered by AI that this research talks about is the case of the Royal London Asset Management Company. So they are a UK investment firm, and according to this research, their HVAC operations were improved significantly by implementing JLL's AI-powered technology, to the extent that they received a 708% return on investment, energy savings of 59%, and reduced carbon emissions of up to 500 metric tons. Now, you might say that you're not in a position to take advantage of JLL's offerings because you're a small organization. But think about this. For every single thing that JLL has mentioned here, there is an offering for smaller organizations. And even if there isn't a like-for-like offering, there are other solutions that you can bring in that will bring savings for your landlord, right? If you're able to save energy costs by even if it's 50%, that is a huge amount. Return on investment of 700%, that's sevenfold. So these are things you want to be thinking about. And if there are any particular solutions you come up with that you want implemented, do reach out and let's see how we can make that happen. So let's talk about some other success stories. So this is brilliant stuff. So facilities management and service, so 45% savings in manpower requirements by adopting the smart cleaning solution. This one, they achieved 100 times more complete photo documentation and 2.5% construction cost savings. So if you think about the types of sites that JLL would be monitoring and appraising, a 2.5% construction cost saving is huge. It's multiple millions. So that's wonderful. This Hank is the HVAC that I've just talked about. HVAC improvement. So leasing and property management. In this one, there was an increase of 112% conversion rate. Appointment bookings increased by 317%, and 2+ hours a day saved. So this particular benefit you can have in your company today just by implementing chatbots and having the right conversational assistants. Engage with the right partners, and these things will be in place. Now, you may not be able to fund or pay for JLL, but you can pay for AutoRe, and you can engage AutoRe and other organizations like ours to help you implement these changes. So just reach out and set up an AI audit. We'll join our wait list for that. And then the final one I want to talk about is in Q1 2023, 1 in 5 of all capital markets and pipeline opportunities globally was enabled by JLL's AI-powered platform. So that's just a recap of what JLL's experience has been over the last few years with regards to AI. They are certainly taking advantage of the opportunities presented, but equally, there's a lot that you can do. And this last section talks about harnessing AI strategically and responsibly. Yes, AI can be expensive. Yes, AI needs people who are experts and know what they're doing. And yes, you can reach out to the right people and get your company moving in that direction. Start with ChatGPT, start with chatbots, and then progress a bit more as you see the benefits and you get used to the new things that AI is delivering. So, in conclusion, organizations will need to reflect on a number of key questions as they consider the right path forward. So first is, what does the growth in AI mean for your investment and location? And what location strategies can you come up with, or what changes do you foresee? How can you take advantage of those opportunities and make sure you're positioned to be in the right place? You're a business owner, and it's all about you making sure that you do not lose out on this opportunity. The next question to ask is, what existing or future applications of AI do you need to be prepared for and pilot now rather than wait for another year or two? And then the final one is, what are the potential business and societal risks of AI? So that helps you position your business correctly and responsibly. So you can partner with us via AutoRe.ai. We provide AI-driven solutions to the real estate industry. We do automations, chatbots, streamlining of your business processes, business growth, improvements, removing of mundane tasks and replacing them with automation. And then the people who perform those tasks can be freed to do other better rewarding jobs or tasks in your business. So feel free to reach us through our website, AutoRe.ai, and you can send an email to Autori and requesting your position on the wait list for the AI audit. So what remains to be said is thank you for listening, thank you for your time, and let's continue on this journey to making ourselves a lot more intelligent in the AI space.